Barley harvest is in the books, people. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of A Dairyman's Diary. My name is Harold, and you join me here looking at something that is not mine. Frankly, this is a fantastically big John Deere 8370R coupled up to a Kuhn LSB 1290 baler, and this is the only way I've been able to figure out how to resolve my baling crisis. I have not been able to source a baler of my own at all. I've been looking for something preferably a round baler, to be honest, and we just couldn't find one any way we went about it. So what ended up happening instead was I spoke to one of my colleagues, and or one of my neighbours, beg your pardon, and they were able to put me in touch with a gentleman who has another baler or a tractor and baler nearby, who turns out he doesn't actually live that far away. And what he was able to do is I was initially going after asking him to contract for me to come in and bale this himself, but he's got too much to do on his own, so he allowed me to even borrow it, which is awfully generous of him. I've just got to get back to him in a few hours because I think he's got some of his own work to do. But we've got this field all nice and cleared, so we're able to get cracking in here now. The last of the harvest really didn't take that long to do at all, which was fantastic. It just it was yielded actually pretty well. I was quite impressed with how it all came off there, to be honest, which is always very nice indeed. And what we'll hopefully look to see is that we can, I'm not quite sure how the yields came in. We'll figure that one out though as time goes on, and we'll do a little bit more of a proper calculation there with what's in the grain bin. For now though, all we need to kind of focus on is getting this baled as quickly as we can, and what a machine to do it. This is a very new John Deere actually, and usually pulls a combination of things for the farmer who I've borrowed it off. Usually pulls this Kuhn baler, and it pulls a grain chaser bin a lot of the time as well, and occasionally some mowers, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, lots to, it's a lovely workhorse here, it really is. Oh, there's a train coming as well. And it's perfect for this job. So far when I drove it over here, it couldn't even feel the weight of the baler behind it. And it's so smooth when we're driving along driving through the field here as well. It really is. It's the 8370R, and I believe that means it's got around, sure, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, it's got around the 370 horse in it, maybe a little bit more if it's got a chip in there. I've got nice wide tyres on here, so it makes the ride even more enjoyable. And yeah, very much looking forward to using this actually. If I ever got to the point where I could do any kind of upgrading myself, then without question or shadow of a doubt, this is where we'd be looking to go to. Of course, I don't really have the workload for a tractor of this size. My case is more than suitable for what I have, and we'll keep plugging away with that one. But yeah, John Deere fever is setting in when you drive this for any period of time. I love how everything is just on the armrest there. It makes it very easy to control. Very nice indeed. And straw-wise, we've got quite a big bulk of straw on here actually, so we should see quite a few bales coming off, or at least I'm hoping so. Between this field and the field of oats that are still not ready to go yet, to my right there, we should hopefully see that we'll have enough bales to keep us all going. But yeah, with that we'll have to wait and see really, I should think. Combine sailed through this like an absolute dream, I must say. It really just ticked through. It was very handy to have that there. I mean, it's not a big machine by any stretch, but it manages to cover the ground that we have. And if it stays in its good shape, mechanically it's sound at the moment, so if it stays in that way, it should really begin to repay itself pretty quickly, I would imagine. What we're going to do is just take off this 4 headlands here, which we're going to take all those off first. With the straw here, we can really push along with this tractor and sail through the swaths here. It's quite light in places, and not as much straw as maybe I would have hoped down the bottom end, particularly here. Top end the swaths get a little thicker. That's primarily down to the light sandy ground at the bottom there, I should think. And but we might do some field work tests on that just to see the full extent of what we're looking at. And yeah, we'll wait and see. For now though, we're going to keep rumbling through, get these headlands taken off, we'll see how we're looking there, and then we'll come back to you when we're a little bit further down the line and we have most of this field cleared off really, I should think. So we'll see you in just a little bit. Well, we've knocked out the headlands, just the 4 rounds there to get done. We're going to see how quickly we can get through the rest of this field. We're cruising along here very nicely. I could almost push the baler a little faster. I don't really think it's necessary right now. We'll just let it do its thing. We're just going to take every other row here so we get a bit of a easier turn, a bit of a light bulb turn there. And we'll get this field all rattled out. So once we've got this done, we're going to have to shoot this straight back up over to the gentleman who we borrowed it from, primarily because I think he needs it pretty quickly. So it's very kind of him to let us use it. So we're going to send it back over that way, and then we'll try and get these cleared. Probably hook the John Deere up to the bale trailer, I think, and we'll get these brought in as quickly as we can. And we'll see how it goes. So we've got plenty of work to get going with. Very pleased to be able to get ourselves all baled up for now, at least until that oat straw is ready. It's still very unlikely that I'll have a baler of my own by that point, so we'll probably end up borrowing this one again if we can, or get the contractor to come in. Just from the sheer cost of things, like I can't find I was primarily looking at the round baler. I can't find one for a good price that I can afford at the moment, so we're going to hang on and wait on that front. And if we're able to strike up a good deal with this gentleman, then I think we probably will. Interestingly, we're also speaking to him about some land that he has available, which we may well look into acquiring where possible. Should allow us to, it's a little bit of pasture land really, so get us a little bit more grassland, and also maybe even a little place to install some, or to build onto our cattle storage really. We're looking into getting another cattle shed somewhere, and if that's going to be possible, then that's exactly what I think we'll look into. For now though, we're just going to keep rumbling through here in this beautiful 8370R. Really fantastic piece of the kit. It's so smooth to ride in here as well. It's just fantastic. I'm very much enjoying having all my controls just right here. It's very ergonomic, very easy to use. And so we're going to get this done, and we'll come back to you later on down the line. So we'll catch you once this is all baled up. Well, welcome back along, folks. We are only a few minutes away now, and we're coming up next to some glorious scenery around here. It's a really nice part of the region. Look at that old bridge up there. It's fantastic with the dam behind it. It's really good. This is a little bit of an extended way to get about, and there is a very logical reason why we're taking this. And we're going to have a bit of a look into that in just a few seconds. Primary reason being that is the shortcut over that bridge there, and there is no way I would ever take my gator across that bridge, let alone this John Deere, which is in itself is probably weighing in around 12-13 tons, and the baler that probably weighs roughly the same on the back as well. But that is an early death waiting to happen for me. But we're going to turn up here, we're going to go into the barn. This is where my neighbour's yard is. Now you can see this is a monstrously big barn. It's really stunning. A lot of new buildings here. This is usually always filled with some pretty big equipment in there. So there's a few bits there, a few bits still out and about. Just pull up here. Oh, his truck's there. I wonder if he's around. So you can see we've got some pretty big bits of equipment here, and a monstrous John Deere combine. We're going to go and have a bit of a look at that shortly. But yeah, for now we're just going to tuck this back in where I got it from, which was this door right here. So we'll just reverse this back in. He's got a huge operation here. I have no idea how many acres he runs, but he does produce an awful lot of bales, both hay and straw. I think a lot of it goes to like a biogas plant. He's probably getting deep into the heart of it all right now, I would say. And there we go. But that is a heck of a big machine there. Really quite something. But yeah, let's have a look at this. This combine here must be easily, I would say, 3-4 times the working width of my case. It's just colossally big. Really, really is. Stunning. You must put through some acres if you got a machine this size. You really must. A big crop of grass here ready to go as well, actually. And then I think he was working in that field just over there. I can't quite see him anywhere. Let's have a little wander over. No, I can't see him. I mean, maybe he's over the brow of the hill there. Anyway, we'll let him. Oh no, maybe you can just see him at the bottom there. Anyway, we're going to let him keep going, and we're not going to disturb him. You can see clearly you need to get his baler back in a hurry because he's going to have all of this to bale up, and we'll let him do it. Meanwhile, I'm going to go back. We're going to jump into the John Deere, And we're going to see if we can get all these bales stacked up and see what we can do in terms of carting them away at least. So we'll see you back at the yard in about 20 minutes. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with my John Deere particularly. It's just not a John Deere 8370. I want one of those now. That being said, we're going to go and jump down and start a cart in some straw bales here. See how we get on there. There's plenty to run at, so it'll be nice if we can get a trailer load just brought in. Might have to do a little bit of shifting around the yard to get them all stacked away there, but we'll figure that one out once we get them brought in there. And there goes another train. It's been a busy old day for trains around here, that's for sure. We're going to take the little track around the top here, just so we don't have to go back out the long way around on the road. It's a nice little smooth track here, to be honest. And we use it quite a bit when we're carting, so it's a little bit quicker. I'm not quite sure of the number of bales we've got in total there. It is a lot though. So I'm quite impressed with that. Once we get this field here done as well, we should be good to go. I really should think we'll be able to get flying through all of this. So we'll have to wait and see how that comes together. For now though, we'll probably get a good 2 or 3 load. It depends how high we put them. Maybe a few more loads than that out of this field. So we're just going to drop this trailer here. Here we go. And let's get this all stacked up, I think. That's one thing for sure, is when you jump back into this, you certainly notice quickly how smooth the 8370 was to drive, because this feels, you just feel a whole load of bumps that weren't there before. Excellent stuff, and away we go here. So we're going to have to look into getting this field covered pretty quickly. I was thinking if we could try and source some lime to put onto here as well. We've also got quite a bit of muck in the clamp back at the yard there from the cattle, which we could bring into here. That would make a lot of sense to do that and get that put to use. So we might do those 2 things, and then we'll have to look to, if we do put muck down, we'll either have to leave it for a while or see if we can get something to come and plough it in for us. Because yeah, we just don't have it. We don't have that capability here right now, so that's something else that we'll always have to look into. But the benefits of putting that down for a future crop would be really significant. And very much worthwhile our investment, I should think. But yeah, we also need to get the contractor to come in pretty soon so we can take care and handle these weeds. Because at the moment they're starting to get a little bit uncontrollable, I've noticed. Always starts on that sandy ground down the bottom, or on any sandy ground really, and then it'll always kind of spread up through once the seeds start to germinate. I need to look into as well a future workshop project. I think we need to try and improve the bale spike here. It's a nice bale spike, it works wonders for the bedding equipment that we have. However, well, it's not high enough really to, I can't really handle more than the 1 bale at a time, because there's nothing to prevent the bale from rolling back onto me. So gotta be quite careful with that. You can always kind of try and spike the bottom bale a little bit higher up, but it's something that I would like, and ideally a nice big high bale fork. So we'll have to see if we can find something like that. But yeah, we're getting this done. We're going to continue and see if we can keep cracking these bales out. I'd like to get a full trailer load, then we need to go take this back to the yard and see where we're going to stick them all. So I reckon we've got 4 long. We can probably go, well, we'll go 2 wide there and maybe 3 high. So it's going to be 8, 16, 24 bales on the load. That should see us clear this field pretty quickly, one would hope. Oh, how not to handle a bale. I've really dialed up the pressure on the baler here as well for this straw. These bales are real solid lumps, so even the bale fork's struggling a little bit here. But they're nice and dry and they're solid, which is good, so it'll be fantastic to get these just stuck into the shed for the winter and get them out of the way. And then that's one of my main worries as a dairy farmer solved, really. So what we'll do is we'll just carry on working our way through this field, see how it looks when we're done, and we'll come back to you with a little bit more of an update. Alright, so we're looking at 16 on this load, and I think what we might do, just because we haven't got that kind of the logistics sorted out in the shed, is just take this load back first, and then once we know for sure how it's all going to work, then we can always take more after that. What I do need to do though is fling a couple of straps on here, just in case. There's another one, and there's another one. Perfect stuff. So we'll keep that onto that. And yeah, what I think we'll do is we'll take this away. Probably take this one back along the road just because it's a little bit smoother of a ride. And we'll see what we can do about loading this into the shed. There we go. So even with 16 on here, you can see it's cleared a big bulk of the corner of this field out. So maybe like another 3 loads of 16 would probably get us all cleared out there. But we'll likely do it in 24s there. So maybe 2 more trailer loads should see us through. So it'd be nice to have that all done. And it's another job ticked off the list really, but what we'll do now, like I say, is we'll just go in, figure out what we're going to do in the yard here. Still a fair bit of weight on here, 16 bales. So this tractor certainly knows it's pulling it. Well, looks like the best place is going to have to be where this mower is, so we'll get that shifted out the way, and then we'll stick them into there until we've used up all those round bales, I suppose, and then we'll see how it looks from there. For now though, I think we'll go ahead and we'll just leave it all here as we can, we'll get ourselves going. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Simulation for the Nation, who very kindly hosts my content, and we will see you in the next one. So until then, do stay safe, enjoy what you're doing as always, but most importantly, happy farming.